version we've chosen is the 160, 1.8 litre VVC. It's the mid-range price of the three cars that we've chosen. Now, in terms of MG, of course, the name of MG is synonymous with roadsters, and they go back to the early 50s, so this little car has a lot to live up to. But I'm glad to say it really does. When I first saw the plastic veneer wood finish, I wasn't over impressed. I suppose we're used to seeing the old MGBs with the real wood and the real finish. But actually, they've come away with it well, and it does actually add a classy look to it and a more sporty feel to it. The TF is a lot more aggressive than the MGF. Its styling is so much more aggressive, and likewise, the drive is the same too. There's been a definite effort in making this a lot more of a responsive car, and I think, all in all, they've come through and made it so. There's been a revised suspension to the TF compared to the MGF, and you really can feel it. It's a lot more rigid, a lot more taut and responsive. Not quite as throwing you around as the Vauxhall. In fact, it's a very easy ride. It feels good to get round the corners, but it's not hard work. The gearbox, likewise, is easy to get through those gears. Some have said that the steering perhaps lacks feedback, but I don't find that. It depends what you're doing with it, of course. If you're out on the country roads like this, it's absolutely fine. You're not going to be ragging it around the track all the time. And in terms of long distance, well, that's when it really comes into its own. It's a comfortable car. You can quite happily go down the motorway in this particular car for hour upon end and not really worry about it. Yeah. The 1.8 VVC engine does 0 to 60 in just under 7 seconds, but it actually feels slower than that. It needs a little bit of coaxing, but the engine sound is very sweet indeed. All in all, I'd have to say that I think MG have got the balance just right for this roadster. It follows the traditions of what's gone before it, and in terms of comparing it to the MR2, well, it's a little bit more responsive than that, but perhaps compared to the Vauxhall, it's not quite so sudden. It's not going to rattle your teeth out, but you're not looking for that from the MG. It's a classy ride, it gives you everything you want, and for a Sunday afternoon out with the top down, what else can you want? We don't stop. We don't stop. Yeah. Performance-wise, the MG TF is a stormer. Sub-7 second 0 to 60, good fuel consumption and reasonable insurance. Combine that with the under 20 grand price tag and a heritage that any sports car manufacturer would be proud of, and you have a great roadster from the MG family. And as it shares a lot of parts with the successful MGF, reliability is not a question. Well, I like the MGF and I like the TF too. It handles well and drives well, and although the smaller engines of the 1.6 may be a little bit flat, this, the 1.8 VVC, is a cracker.